This is Brent Haggerty from Gulf Premier, Sarasota. One of the most famous statues in the city of Sarasota is the Kissing Sailor, and it goes all the way back to World War II days. Today we're going to look at some lessons learned in Ian's School of Hard Knocks. What did I learn as a resident? What did I learn as a realtor in my very first hurricane called Ian? Listen in carefully. Eight days ago, Hurricane Ian devastated Fort Myers and that area as a 45-mile wide eye crushed that coastline and made its way across the state and elsewhere. Today I want to talk to you on day 8 after that catastrophic hurricane swept through here, what I've learned about Hurricane Ian, and in its School of Hard Knocks, things that I have learned about hurricanes and real estate. As I make my way down here at the Sarasota Bay Marina, I'm mindful that in Fort Myers marinas, 8 days ago, there were 115 boats tethered in a marina, and at the end of the hurricane, there were only 17 of those boats that were still tethered. The rest of them ended up in the corner of the marina. Most of them pushed up onto land. Happened to be my nephew's boat, suffered a catastrophic damage that sunk the boat, and he lived on that boat, so he lost his home and he lost everything in it. So it was a devastating experience, and what I learned, first lesson from the experience, was this: meteorologist advice should be followed. The camera crews, the people who supported those events, to be able to save, I believe, thousands of lives, because had it not been for television, had it not been for scientific technology, had it not been for people who have worked to understand what those forecasts are telling us, understand how to predict the path of an ongoing hurricane, I believe that a lot of lives would have been lost. The second thing I learned is that hurricane classification charts don't lie. They're based on barometric pressure, and we've heard everyone on the news forecast talk about category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, those barometric pressures are measured in what is referred to by the professionals as millibar ratings. And category 1 has a millibar rating of 976 with wind speeds of 74 miles an hour. Category 5 has 925 millibars of barometric pressure and wind speeds of 157 miles an hour. So the bottom line is, those millibars don't lie. So when the weatherman tells you it's a category 5, it's not because he has a wet finger in the air. It's because he's looking at advanced scientific technology. Listen carefully, because the millibars are the weatherman's friend, and the weatherman is our friend. The third thing I learned in Ian's School of Hard Knocks is that speed kills and size matters. We know those expressions, but in this particular case of hurricanes, the size of the hurricane is measured oftentimes by the eye of the hurricane. So when the eye goes over a place, you have, first of all, counterclockwise winds that go at the highest rate of speed. In Ian's case, they were coming in at around 140 miles an hour. Then after the eye passes, the winds reverse direction. In the middle, you could have a day as bright and sunny as this day right here with no wind at all, and then the winds reverse and come at the same speed in the opposite direction. That speed of wind has devastating power, and as one direction wind loosens the soil and all the things that are built by man or by God, devastate. So the size of the eye and the size of the hurricane wall matters a lot. The other thing is speed kills. Now, we think of that in terms of an automobile as the faster a car is going, the higher the rate of death if the car experiences an accident. Well, in the hurricane status, it's just the opposite. And so the slower the speed of the hurricane, the more devastation and potential life loss that's going to be experienced. Those lessons are hard lessons to learn, but I learned them in a way experiencing my very first hurricane. The fourth lesson I learned from Ian's School of Hard Knocks is that electricity and polluted drinking water are silent killers that come as an aftermath of the hurricane. Hurricanes bring high winds, we know that. High winds bring down trees, we've seen that. Falling trees bring down power lines. Many times it's more people die after the hurricane when the sun is shining and the wind and the rain is stopped than in the middle of the hurricane because of electrocution. When the weatherman is telling you, stay in your house until it's clear to go outside, it's not because they're afraid of you dying in the wind, it's because of electrocution. Another aftermath is drinking water. There are a lot of homes in the state of Florida who have potable water systems that have septic tanks and leach fields, and then the water gets down into the wells, and the wells bring the water into the home. And when we are told by state officials, stock yourselves with bottled water specifically, it's because of the pollution that brings contamination into the human body to the point of death. The fifth lesson I learned in Ian's School of Hard Knocks is that no one in the state of Florida is exempt from the effects of a hurricane. This hurricane was predicted to take landfall in the Tampa Bay area, but in reality, it hit at Fort Myers. Then you had Orlando that suffered damage and had water within 5 inches of their front door. In Daytona Beach, same type of thing. My friend, when you hear of a hurricane coming to the state of Florida, don't think that because you're not on waterfront property, you don't have a canal in your backyard, you can't see the ocean or the Sarasota Bay or any of the other Gulf of Mexico waters, that you're exempt from the devastation and the harm that could come. Prepare and do your part. Lesson 6 as a realtor. I will now take very, very seriously the flood zone rating, and so should you if you're looking to buy property in this state. Flood zone rating, the best flood zone rating is the letter X as in X-ray. And you can find the flood zone rating by going to Google and typing in flood zone rating for the subdivision that you're looking to buy property in. Very, very important. I also learned that wind mitigation reports should be secured before you purchase a home. It's really, really important. The wind mitigation report tells the insurance company and you as the owner of the home how the home was engineered and how it was built. The insurance company will give you a discount every single year on your annual insurance premium if you can provide for them a wind mitigation report. The third thing I learned is that hurricane straps on your roof structure, so critically important. The insurance company wants to see them, and you want them there if you're inside that home and the hurricane comes your way. The home inspection. You should make sure that when you are under contract and you hire a home inspector, that you tell them specifically you want a thorough roof inspection. In fact, when I purchased my home, I paid for not only the home inspector, I paid for a roofing company specialist to come in addition to just focus on the roofing structure. Hurricane straps hold your trusses down to the concrete structure of the building. The very best roofing material that you can get, in my opinion, is the ridge vent metal sheeting that has very few seams. It's bolted down, screwed into the wooden structure of the roof, and provides a long flowing exit for the water to come down. Then you have also clay or tile roofing materials. And what most people don't realize, but it comes to your benefit, you have about 80,000 pounds sitting on the average 2,000 square foot home, holding the roof down when those 140 mile or 150 mile category 5 winds blow over the roof, and your roof has the airplane wing effect, and it has a tendency to rip your roof right off. Probably the least expensive by far, but also the least quality of roof would be the asphalt shingled roof. Now you can get 20-year guaranteed at GAF shingles, or you can get 50-year GAF guaranteed shingles. So there's obviously a big difference in the quality of the shingles, and I would highly recommend that you get the 50-year guarantee. It's not going to cost you that much more in terms of getting that quality of shingle. Get them nailed every 6 inches, every shingle, because they are laboratory rated for wind speeds up to 170 miles an hour. The seventh thing that I learned in Ian's School of Hard Knocks is that the storm will not stop people from moving into the state of Florida. How can I say that based on Ian? Well, I really don't. But I base it on the fact that Ian is one of dozens of category storms that have hit the state of Florida over the last 100 years. I'm talking dozens of hurricanes have hit this state, but there are more people moving to Florida in the year 2021, 2022 than ever before in the history of this state. My friend, people are going to continue to live here. People are going to continue to move here. If you're among them, I just ask you to come to the conclusion that you don't know everything, that there are people like the weatherman, the meteorologists. They're going to be able to help you. So make sure that you find yourself a good realtor, a good home inspector. Make sure you find yourself a good mortgage lender. Make sure you listen to the local news, and also to get several reports. Don't just listen to one station. And the next time a hurricane comes your way, be prepared and ride it out or evacuate, whichever is on the better part of wisdom. I survived the very first hurricane that I've ever ridden out, and I am so sorry for the people 40 miles from here in Fort Myers. Some of them my family members, but they were devastated. I don't want you to suffer that loss. So if you have any questions, please give me a call. My information is going to be on the screen. Brent Haggerty, Gulf Premier Sarasota. Write me a comment. I'll see you real soon.